Hello, I'm Charlie,
And I'm Morgan.
and today we are diving back into the NSC 2026 Spring Playoffs. This is the lower finals of Division 1, and we are super excited to be hosting this event on behalf of the NSC.
We've got a super exciting best of 5 series between Strathclyde and INCL University. We are just waiting for a couple of our players to get into the lobby, but we are going to take a very short break and we'll be back in just a few minutes, so don't go anywhere.
Hello and welcome back to the NSC week 5 of the playoffs.
Week 5.
I am your play-by-play caster, Imagine.
And I'm your color caster, Click.
And today we have a 5v5. We've got SMCL back from last week. For those of you who remember those, they had a tough series against Oxford. And this week they're taking on ICL Winston in the lower finals.
Yeah, it's going to be a really stacked matchup. Both these teams desperate to make it for their one last chance to get to the grand finals in Nottingham.
Yeah, I mean, again here, we're looking at our notes, and again, we've got a really stacked roster on either side here. Both teams around the same ranks. If anything, ICL Winston a little bit higher ranked. Yeah, I don't know. Like, this is going to be a really high-ranked game, but we did see last week that team cohesion always wins.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Oxford had the higher-ranked roster than SMCL, but SMCL had that more team dynamic, and they were using their abilities and planning fights together, which gave them quite a significant edge, I'd like to add.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think we're shaping up for a really close series here. All the players are in the lobby, and just before we even start, we've got a Ven ban from SMCL. We've got a Domina ban from ICL Winston, and it's going to be on Busan.
Yeah, I mean, the Domina ban is pretty surprising to me because you don't really see her in too much competitive pro play. She's a great character, but she just doesn't work in those team scenarios. She's great in comp, but how can you transfer her skills into winning a map?
I mean, maybe we'll see it. Maybe they know something we don't.
Yeah, maybe the Domina is the pick that SMCL will be playing. But obviously, we've seen SMCL mostly be playing Bull and Sigma, especially coming from Sigma Man, who is unstoppable on that Sigma. As we saw last week, they made play after play and hit so many rocks that really did cripple Oxford defenses. So let's see if Sigma Man can do that again against ICL.
Yeah, and we do have the Ven ban coming in. Maybe Oxford traumatized them a little bit. Some of the Vendetta running wild while Egg Roadman filled the support role. It was hectic, but Oxford did squeak out the win in the end. And now SMCL are back fighting for their position at LAN.
Yeah, this is a big stakes game. Whoever wins this match does proceed into the finals of the NSC, which will be hosted and played at Nottingham. So I don't think ticket sales are live yet, but as soon as they are, don't forget to grab those.
Yeah, and anyway, as we've got our teams here readying up for the match, what are you predicting for a scoreline here?
Well, as we've seen SMCL play, we know how they play, we know how they think. I'm excited to see how ICL can break this win streak, or break this epic gameplay from SMCL.
Yeah, so we do have a little bit of a different roster here from SMCL. No Sigma Man, we do have Cheeseburger instead.
They seem to be running the same comp though, of this double hit scan Sigma Kiri Lucio, and ICL are going to follow that up with the Mauga instead. How would you think about this Mauga Sig?
I like this Mauga if he can find the right times to go in. He's against double hit scans, so there's a lot of damage coming out. But if he can find the right time to engage, and it looks like he's going for one. Unfortunately, it's going to be a swing and a miss, though. Power trying to rotate around this point, trying to find that good engage onto this back line. As he goes for another big chunk, and he's going to get burned out. Didn't quite scout out the hit scans here, and they just eat him alive as he tries to engage here.
Yeah, this Mauga pick is quite questionable, especially into the Sigma, because Mauga thrives from just burning and shooting it pressure on this tank player. And with Sigma, with that barrier and that flux, and the eat that he has on his E, it makes it very, very difficult for this Mauga to properly form damage and get that lifesteal off.
Yeah, ICL hit, trying to fight back, but Envy's got a beautiful stagger pick onto Elo? He found a beautiful three-piece to win that first fight, and SMCL are comfortably in control here, ahead on the ults as well.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
good to
ults are always the fights that we want to look out for. I mean, Power's still sitting on 23% of his ult charge compared to Cheeseburger's 60. So they will have this flux before they have the cage, and that could give them enough point because remember, we are playing for the objective here. We are not playing for kills. We are playing to get this point on lockdown, and ults will help secure that.
Yeah, big dive here coming from ICL here, and the Emery's not quite going to fall, and neither is the Ash. The Emery Elo here had a great angle onto Ash, but wasn't able to clean up the kill. as ICL are trying to push towards the point. Eloy is going to find his pick onto Dora. But the Emre ult from Envy has come out. He finds one as Oil falls, but it looks like it won't be enough. And as ICL march towards this point, Eloy gonna find a couple of picks here, and this the Sigma's getting staggered. This is brutal.
Yeah, that was a beautiful execute by ICL. They took the point, they got the first pick onto Adar there, and that really did just snowball into that fight win. 73% coming out from SMCL here. Only needs probably 1 or 2 more fight wins. They have the ults coming up online here. Eloy does have this Emery ult, which is going to be huge to get this early pick. If they manage to get that early pick, they might be able to get some more possession of this point.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a couple of ults coming online. Maybe something like an Emery Kitsune here. Beautiful hack onto the Sigma from one Tom. And Eloy's ult is going to come out. It's going to rip. He's going to kill Oil. The Flux is going to make power drop, but one Tom's found another. Trades going back and forth here. And it looks like ICL are coming out on top despite being down their tank player. Kitsu coming out from Carl, trying to rescue this with Eloy and Geode on the point. Geode is going to find Titan Bros on the carry, and that is a second straight fight win for ICL here.
Yeah, I mean, ICL are really holding down this objective. They know that they can't really give up point pressure to SMCL right here, and they're using their ults effectively, but no ults on the board apart from Dar's Bob here. Oil close to beat here, but no support ults on the side of ICL, so this could be an easy flip for SMC.
Yeah, even forcing Cheeseburger here onto the Orisa off of their kind of usual Sigma pick we've come to know and love. Maybe picking up a thing or two from Renee here. As he's going to fall immediately low, the charge is going to come through. The cage, the bob, and the beat are going to come through, and Power is going to get punished on that engage. Engaging as the enemy team are dropping 2 ults on his head, and then the Orisa being a stone wall there for the front line. SMCL trying to clean up, and there it is. That is a full team wipe for the side.
I was going to say that this the Orisa pick into this Mauga is going to be confusing because that's going to get more lifesteal, more burn up for the Power on this Mauga here against this Orisa. But it just turns out the Power got a bit too greedy with his ult and didn't know his backline was too far behind, and he didn't get the care he needed. But they're going to go for the retake here, 95% to 87.
Power taking out Envy, charging towards the point, and the Kiri is trying to sustain him. Both tanks taking so much damage as Dara finds a beautiful angle on the side. Gonna find one Tom, landing shots into more. Can he find another one before Cheeseburger falls? Never mind. Cheeseburger will fall. Oil will fall. It looks like the point might flip in a dangerous position here. Dara still controlling this off angle. He's gonna find the burn onto Kiri, but Power finds another. And this is a Kitsu ult from SMCL with only 2 alive. Geode's beat will be the closer, and that is ICL for point 1.
Yeah, I mean, we're experiencing a really close game here. Both teams are getting exactly what they need to do, and it seems like the DPS have been picked perfectly for this comp because they are just initiating these first picks. And you do know, everyone knows how hard it is to win a 4v5 fight compared to that 5v5. So both teams are going to be looking for their opening picks, and it looks like ICL are coming out on top in that regard. From Eloy, he is getting those extra picks. Dar was putting up a fight on SMCL, but his team didn't manage to follow up as much as they needed to.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird comp coming out from ICL, and SMCL may be making some of the wrong counter picks here, but they seem to be more comfortable in it for a little while. Maybe we'll see how it changes.
Yeah, I mean, SMC are ready to shut down the Mauga of Power. They do see that he can run in quite deep, so they do need to capitalize on that and really do take him out before this fight gets going and before he manages to start Dar. But here goes his entry from Power in here. Onto Dar, he's looking extremely low. Kitsu come out.
And this is going to be ICL trying to push forward on this, but unfortunately SMCL just going to kite away with that speed. Never mind, Power gets caught out. Titan Power finds his 1, and one Tom TP's in to get a second. Dawa's going to find 1, but it looks like it's all for naught as SMCL are just going to crumble around him.
Yeah, I mean, SMC did just crumble around that fight. They did play a bit too up, and that's exactly what Power wanted. Power wanted them to bunch. He managed to get the stun on, taking the early pick onto Tartan Boss, and that really makes it difficult for SMC, losing their main backline of healing on that Kiriko so early in the fight is really detrimental for keeping Cheeseburger alive.
Yeah, I mean, it's a comp where you really need your Orisa alive. She needs to be that wall for the Mauga to stop pushing. And she's burning a lot of CDs even before leaving this room. And it's going to cause Power to go straight onto Oil. And SMCL were ready for it. And they took 2 in the process. But Power gets 2 right back. And one of those was the tank. This is going to be a rough fight for SMCL to win. Oh no, Power misses the charge onto the Emre. But the Emre dropped to try and burn him down. Pistol coming out here from Emre, trying to burn down Power. But he has that Kiriko and Eloy is back to clean it up.
Yeah, I mean, the main way to play against this Mauga is really just to lock him down, make him take loads of damage, negate his space, and really just honestly burn the tank is what SMC should be doing. But on this Genji Emery comp, I don't know how they can find the damage to really burn this Mauga down. He seems like he can just stay alive, especially if Carl manages to keep themselves alive here and prolong their death. They can keep this Mauga up infinitely.
Power looking for an engage, not going to find anyone with the stomp. The Kitsu will come out from Carl to back him up, and he's going to have to relinquish the high ground as SMCL rotate away. Envy and Dower, though, they are on a hot streak right now, trying to keep this point alive for SMCL, and both finding good respective picks, forcing ICL into this corner. Carl going to have the Genji on him, TPing away. One Tom is going to find Oil, and it's a lot of ults burned for this final fight. And SMCL look like they might squeak past if they can find this last kill onto Eloy and Geode. And eventually, after all the ults have cleared, Eloy is still standing. He's found one more. Can he find Oil? Not quite. And Cheeseburger will finally end it. But that was a heavy fight from both teams. And ICL here are ready to re-engage. Power going straight back in. The beat engage comes through. ICL's team are here to back up Power. And Cheeseburger is in a bad spot. The beat comes out from SMCL. Dower now with the blade after the beats have faded. Finds one. Can he find a second? There it is. And it's SMCL holding this small room against the Mauga comp beautifully, holding the point and eventually cleaning up a second back-to-back fight.
Yeah, I mean, ICL could have played that slower, in my opinion. They did just kind of run in and try to rush the percent. I know they're on 97%, and one team fight would have concluded this, but they did use the Mauga ult before. They did use the Kiri ult before. They used the wall, and they used the Emery ult, and they decided to run back in for a dry fight while SMC still has their ults. They did manage to burn some ults in the meantime, but this is going to be an quick engage from Power here. He's going to slam, finds the pick onto Envy. Cheeseburger is going to be running low.
Eloy here, gonna find more and more as he just does not die. That is a 4-piece for Eloy off the back of Power's engage, and that might be map. It's gone to overtime. Oil looking for the pick. Carl finds the shot to stop it. Envy with a slide. He gets the recontest. Power shuts him down. SMCL players trickling onto the point. Dower is next, and we're following up with Cheeseburger. Neither of them dying quite yet. There's Dower, and there's the Mauga ult to finally end Cheeseburger. And unfortunately, SMCL's journey on this map
is over. Well, I mean, ICL Winston played that amazingly. You could say that Eloy did not alloy them to touch the point in the end, which is a terrible joke, but we like to keep on moving. An amazing 4-piece from Eloy at the end. That was absolutely incredible. Taking the space on the high ground, really just creating that off angle, which SMCL could not punish, and that was the map 1 for ICL.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, ICL, kind of an awkward comp to play into poke, and especially double hit scan with this Mauga. But those engages from Power, he's charging up the off angles. He is finding beautiful openings, and he's just splitting SMCL wide open. It's not a good time right now, and I wonder if we're going to see a Mauga ban here pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, Power should not be getting away with the plays they are making. They are just going so fast, really catching SMC off guard. They're kind of... SMC, I believe, are trying to expect them to take more of a stand and a pre-fight, like kind of scout and battle. But Power doesn't want any of that. He just wants to go straight in and say, I'm starting the fight now. Team better back me up. And they are. They are backing him up.
Yeah, you really see it. Once ICL's team backed up Power, Power was good for 1, sometimes even 2 in every single fight. It's not just the DPS pulling their jobs. It's not just Carl hitting some nasty shots on Kiri. It's Power leading the charge, getting into the backline, finding Envy consistently. And it's just really putting a stop to SMCL's kind of momentum here.
Yeah, I mean, the Mauga Chargers have been absolutely amazing, and you can't expect anything different from a Champion 5 Mauga. He's champion for a reason, especially on Mauga, considering Mauga has not really had his dominant space over the last couple of months, especially in higher ranked play in Overwatch. Still a powerful hero, but not played in the higher standards, so we're glad to see him come back, actually. I mean, not many people do like playing against the Mauga, but honestly, watching power on this Mauga makes me want to go and hop on my own.
You want to play Mauga?
After seeing power, yeah, I want to. If I can be killing 2 or 5, then sign me up. I'll play some Mauga.
Power, he's champion on ladder, now going for champion of NSC, it seems, as we're going to have a Suravasa map pick with bans of Mauga and from SMCL.
Yeah, they were scared of Power's Mauga. They were scared. They got the ban off, which honestly, I don't know what Power's going to play. I haven't seen ICL play apart from this match. Obviously, I know that Sigma Man and Cheeseburger, I know what kind of picks that they will pick because they played last week, obviously, so we do know what we're kind of expecting from them. But ICL is this new, fresh team that we haven't seen much yet on this particular stream, so we're really excited to see how they manage to deal with these target bans that are going to come out from ICL. Or SMCL.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, the Mauga was so dominant, but dominant enough to force a ban straight after. I mean, Suravasa, it is a pretty strong Mauga map, but I feel like there are better options later down the line. Maybe for like a push map, something with just less high ground.
Yeah, I mean, even if they was to play Mauga on this point, I feel like there's so many easy ways to shut down a Mauga. You just have to have that just a little bit more of that team play coming across from SMCL. They all seem to be shooting and finding different targets, which is all well and dandy. But when you have a Mauga with 600 HP running down into your spawn, you kind of do need to put some pressure on him.
Yeah, maybe we even see something like an Ana come out from SMCL if they struggle to continue with this Mauga. I mean, Ana, great counter to Mauga, but easily diveable.
Yes.
So, I don't know.
It's the trade-off. It's like, what do you want to do? Do you want to make it harder for the tanks or harder for yourself? It's a bit of a tricky question.
It would be some composition changes, but SMCL like playing Sigma. Maybe the Ana would fit somehow. Maybe you do something greedy with Ana Lucio.
Or maybe SMCL needs to start thinking about their DPS lineup. Double hit scan, great for damage. We did see the Genji come out from Dar at the end, but I don't think Genji was specifically the pick into that. Maybe they could have had some Tracer or something to really wrap around the behind, because it seems like the Aloy from ICL is just chilling on some off angles at all times, really uncontested and no pressure onto him. And he's really making it hard for Cheeseburger to walk up in those scenarios.
Yeah, and we did see quite a few picks coming out of Wontom here. I believe he played Sombra, he played Genji. I'm sure he played a couple of others. He sort of played about 3 different characters. But yeah, Aloy here, seemingly uncontested. Not really what we saw from Envy last week, but maybe it's just an off map.
Yeah, maybe they needed to find their footing. The champs' nerves getting to them. I mean, this is their one and last chance to get to these finals. And I've been in this situation before, and it is a very nerve-wracking experience. It really does change the way you play, and it really does change your mindset overall.
Yeah, honestly. Okay, so Suravasa. We've got rid of the Mauga, and so what are we kind of looking at now?
I mean, just coming in, the ICL have banned Soldier coming out. Very rogue ban. Maybe they're just trying to protect ban, but then we already got the ban on the Mauga, so I'm not quite sure where this Soldier ban. Maybe it was just a throwaway ban. Maybe they don't want to pick anything because it messes with their comps. I think they're just going for a safety ban.
Yeah, it does seem like it. Honestly as well, though, don't forget, if you ban something, you cannot ban it for the rest of the series. Maybe they have something cooking for Suravasa, maybe some secret strats that we haven't seen, and that might push them over the edge regardless of the ban. But yeah, honestly, Soldier ban, little weird.
Yeah, very interesting, especially coming out from ICL, who seem like they're a team that is very well put together. They know when to use their ults. They know when to really play aggressive or when to play quite casual and neutral. So, I mean, if ICL want to ban this Soldier, I'm going to put full faith in them to think that they know what they're doing with this Soldier Man.
Yeah, I mean, Aloy seeming to very much favor the Emre anyway. I don't know what else you could have installed. Never mind. Back on Emre.
I mean, Emery just is that character now. I mean, farming an ult a fight is kind of exactly what you need from a DPS player when that DPS ult can guarantee 2 kills a fight.
Yeah, and ICL, very similar comp, but very different play style. They've got the D.Va now, looking to play a lot, maybe even faster than the Mauga, and they're coming in with the Vendetta. Very standard comp here.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate for SMCL, they will be seeing a Vendetta again in their matches, which isn't what they want to see. But hopefully after all of this time, maybe they had some VOD reviews for Oxford and they could see how to really get some real counterplay onto this Vendetta.
Yeah, Envy here, she's just looking for that kind of angle. Not able to really find it. Cheeseburger is going to just fall in a bit of a scrappy way here. And this is not looking good for SMCL. Tartan's going to find Aloy. That's a good start. But the D.Va is controlling the point. And I'm not sure if it's in SMCL's best interest to keep this going here, especially with One Tom still alive on the Vendetta. Carl's Suzu is going to save her. Cheeseburger's back. And no one else from SMCL is dead. The engage comes onto Power. Power falls lower and lower. Can they drop this D.Va mech? Not quite, but they will find One Tom.
But they do also manage to flip the point, and in this, holding the point is amazing. Even if you're contesting that point, the ticks is still going up. That percentage is still rising. So making sure that you gain point pressure on Flashpoint is the most important thing.
Yeah, only 3 kills out so far, and yet the point has been going for quite a while now. Both teams playing really disciplined, not overextending, not giving an ounce of space. Cheeseburger gonna engage onto Power again. Envy here is gonna rip the ult right into Carl's Kitsune, and there is the double support ult from ICL, shutting down Envy's Emre ult. And Power and One Tom are here to clean up. Aloy's gonna take Dara, it looks like, and One Tom and Geode are there for the cleanup.
And that's exactly what we were saying with that Emery ult, just how fast that you can pull it up. I mean, Envy, the point's not even got to 70% yet, and he's already popping that Emery ult. Unfortunately, it did get closed down, but that's just the power of what it can be. And Aloy now coming out with their own Emery ult. We've got the D.Va bomb. They have a great ults to hold this push here. And they're already down Envy, so that's their main touch going to be gone. If Cheeseburger can manage to find a pick here, but that is Tartan Boss gone. Wonton does manage to go down, but that is the end of SMCL's attack.
Yeah, ICL here, really good point defense. Honestly, they're absolutely rocking this point. They're doing the best that they can. They didn't use a single ult in the last fight. SMCL did burn 2 ults, and there's the Domina pick. Maybe ICL knew something.
Yeah, I mean, that Domina pick from the first map was a bit of a surprise, but Cheeseburger coming out onto this Domina pick now, we get to actually see if this Domina pick is really going to cause some issues for ICL, or if that Domina ban was just a fluke from the first
Yeah, Power though, finding Dower before they could even engage, that is not a good start for the side of SMCL. They tried to look for angles and they just fell off immediately. They got ripped off of those angles. Aloy now with the Emrail. Can they find something that's more value than Envy? I mean, Envy forced out 2 support ults. Maybe it's worth it. Dower with the Beat Blade. Tartan's gonna find another. Dower finds 2, finds 3, and it's just Power left on the point. And the cleanup is all SMCL.
And unfortunately, during that conflict, we did unfortunately have an Ajax from Wonton on that Vendetta roll, which is very unfortunate, but sometimes those panic ults, you might be able to get some value, you might be able to turn the fight, but today that was not achieved.
Yeah, SMCL looking a lot more comfortable on this Domina comp, I must say. Just committing about the same amount of ultimates as SMCL, or as ICL, sorry, and getting even just so much more value. Envy finding Geode. Okay, she is back in control of this lobby right now. Oil's gonna find Polar. Oil's gonna find 2 as Envy is hunting down a 2nd kill. And honestly, Envy and Oil just killed 4.
I mean, we are watching some superb Overwatch, and I mean, no kills is getting unrecognized in this match. I mean, every kill, there's multiple fights, no clean fights yet, Jared, which is very surprising because you normally seem to get a lot of ult fights in Overwatch where nothing seems to happen on the side of one team. But, I mean, multiple picks coming out from both sides here. No one is getting a clean and getting away with any fight that's going on.
Yeah, 3 ults coming out here. Power going to eat the Domino ult, and the Envy falls in the middle of her ult. That means both the ults committed by SMCL will be negated almost completely as Aloy and Wontom roll onto the point, and the point is flipped in very quick fashion with only the use of 2 ults.
Yeah, I mean, SMCL, they have great ult timings, but they need to be more protective of their ults. Maybe play from a safer angle, especially with this Emery. They seem to be getting shut down quite heavily and quite quickly, which is not what you want, especially in ult economy when ICL have hit most of their ults and got value out of all of them.
And here is the beat from Geode as ICL looking to push them back into the spawn. Envy is going to fall first, and it's going to be traded for Aloy. Both teams lacking a hit scan. Oil is going to use the beat now, and this is SMCL's time to push back. But Cheeseburger falls. Dower is going to find one, and it's a scramble for the point. Tartan Bro's going to use the Kitsune, hoping to get them a leg up in this fight, but he falls as well, and Dower, it looks like he will be next to fall. Oil being chased down by Power, but the point is just going to time out for the side of ICL.
And that is going to be some stagger picks from ICL. They're going to be able to pick up Envy on that Emery. Might be able to pick up Dar here on this Genji, falling really low. Cheeseburger as well on the brink of death. And that's going to be Cheeseburger falling. Can they find the pick onto Oil? They can. That is going to be 2 staggers for this next point. They will revive in time to be able to when the flashpoint unlocks in 15 seconds. But that is a huge extra bit of ult charge for the side of ICL here. With 3 ults online to SMCL's 1.
Yeah, I mean, SMCL, I mean, they switched to the Doom for the touch, but they're looking very disjointed in these last couple of fights. They had a great second point and lost it at the end. Aloy gonna rip this Emery ult, looking for an angle, looking for an engage, finding the damage, and the domino will fall. And there is the second, and that is the domino effect. Honestly, that is exactly what you want to see the play from ICL coming through. Dower will fall very late in the fight, and that is a team kill off the back of just an Emery ult.
I mean, that could have been another perfect opportunity for another pun of that's a domination from ICL, but unfortunately SMCL is going to be playing that domina, and it wasn't very dominant from SMCL.
And Cheeseburger here opting for the Roadhog, probably after those Domina puns. And it looks like SMCL are going to be trying to walk high ground, trying to brute force through here with this hog pick. Carl using the Kitsune on the high ground. Only D.Va seems like they're going to benefit. Never mind, Wontom's jumping up, but Dower is there with the blade. He gets picked up by a nade. Aloy with an absolute godsend of a nade. Gonna find Dower in the middle of his blade. Aloy finds another. Wontom will fall, but they have to touch in the next 5 seconds, or else this is map 2 shut and sealed. Can Oil find the touch? He does. Overtime has started. Geo finds Oil. Cheeseburger needs to touch. Never mind, his flex DPS is on it. They are struggling for the touch. Envy is back. Cheeseburger falls. Envy finds one. Dower falls next. Tartan falls next, and it is Envy versus 4, and Carl finds himself a nice 3k, and Oil with an Ajax to end it.
Worst way to end the point with an Ajax there from Oil. I mean, he desperately tried to get back, but that is such an unfortunate Ajax, and that will go down in his permanent history, I'm afraid. That is another Ajax added to your tally.
Yeah, that is 2 Ajaxes in 2 maps. Well, technically 2 Ajaxes in 1 map.
I mean, I don't like to pick up on the Ajaxes because it's very mean to understand, because sometimes during the battle you will be focused out. If they know you have beat, they aren't going to let you live. And they're going to make sure to pressure down that beat. But unfortunately, that wasn't, at least it wasn't a bad Ajax. It wasn't a Violet. It was very much just unfortunate timing getting back to the point. But that will be map 1 for ICL.
Yeah. Well, map 2 for ICL.
Oh yeah, map 2 for ICL. They've already got 2 maps. They're really cruising, and SMCL are unfortunately falling under the pressure. I feel like they might need to get Sigma Man in. I love Cheeseburger on this tank, but he seems a bit lost on what he needs to play. He's played 3 different heroes in that one map, 4 different heroes in that one map, and when you have that, you don't have the time to build up your ult charge. He didn't have many ults. He didn't have a hog ult. He didn't have a doom ult. And that has really left open for
And his one Diva ult got eaten.
yes.
Or his one Domino ult,
Yeah,
sorry.
his one Domino ult did get eaten, so I don't even know if Cheeseburger managed to get a successful ult off on that match, which is unfortunate. It's not a skill issue. Sometimes the map does just happen like that, but SMCL still have a chance here. They still have a opportunity for a reverse sweep, 3 maps in a row that they need to win here. Can they do it?
But it is 2-0, which means it is time to hand over to our analyst to kind of break down what's really maybe going well for ICL and why they look so strong and composed right now. And we will be back in a few minutes.
Welcome back. What 2 maps they were? Some quite interesting maps there.
Definitely, yeah, very, very interesting from both teams. I think, especially on this stream, we've seen quite a lot of Strathclyde so far, and seeing them struggle this much. It's definitely not what we expected. Yeah.
What did you think of the Malga pick?
I'm not that big a fan. I like Malga myself. He's a great character,
Yeah.
but I think he's quite easily shut down. But I guess I was proven wrong because I don't know what it was. They just weren't able to finalize the kill on that Malga.
I don't know whether something like an Ana could benefit from being there. Obviously, we've seen Emre be really strong for both teams. So I wonder why that sort of is. It seems like the Malga Emre seems to be sort of their main pick.
Yeah, and what was more interesting though, even with that Malga ban, they still performed really well on the Diva as well. Yeah,
the Diva was an interesting one. I quite like the Diva. I play a lot of Diva myself. That was quite a cool, interesting pick. Sort of, I think both teams did really well. Obviously, so I reckon I think you have to give it to the DPS. They were constantly getting those first picks, especially the Emrys. They were really good actually.
Yeah, Emre at the minute, very powerful in the meta, and we've seen what MV can definitely do on the Emre. So it's exciting to see what they can continue to do.
How do you think SNCL can get back into this?
It's gonna be a difficult one. I think if we're gonna see more Malga, then you really need to start shutting down that Malga.
Yeah.
I think definitely.
I wonder maybe if they're going to play the Malga, having a Kiriko ban could be quite influential on that. Obviously, with the Ana, Kiriko Suzu is quite a strong sort of ability. So I wonder if that's sort of where they angle to now. Yeah,
certainly, and maybe looking to shut down the Emre, put more pressure, go as a collective unit, perhaps.
Yeah, I think they've allowed that Emre to be so sort of free in what he was doing. Maybe sort of playing more of the Winston that we saw, diving onto him and getting him eliminated first could be quite a beneficial thing for them. I think the support's doing really well in keeping the tank and the Emrys alive. So I think it is going to be a matter of the team all going in at once. To try and take him out.
But then if they were to play something like the Winston, do you not just see more peel coming out from the Diva?
Yeah.
Malga, easy dive onto the Winston.
Yeah, I think obviously with the Diva, it's then putting more pressure on the Diva. So it could be sort of temperamental.
Yeah, but we have a moment here that sort of encapsulates the last map going into Saravasa, right towards the end here. And I wanted to take a look at this point because I think it shows quite a strong ult fight here from the side of ICL. Right to start off here, you see Power getting the pick onto Cheeseburger. Cheeseburger, they had such a difficult time choosing what tanks to play, and I think this encapsulated as Elo will pick up Oil, and they're just able to take so much space, walk so far forward, and we'll see coming into the fight now. It'll be Dwar's Blade just up against 3 ults here for ICL, and it's looking to be. Oh, we might have just missed the fight actually. Back. Here we go.
The Domino was also a really interesting pick. That worked in their favour quite a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I think it took them a little bit of time to figure out Domino was what they wanted, but they definitely looked a bit more, a lot stronger. But you see straight away, Eloy here coming straight in with the living weapon, which means that no space is allowed. Cheeseburger has no choice but to start pressuring the point. And what it means then is that the whole rest of Strathclyde can just topple on the Cheeseburger, and they fall straight away. And it means then that then the rest of the team can just walk forward, start pushing down and dominating.
What Winston is found by police helicopter has done really well is separating that tank, getting that tank into an awkward position so that they can punish that and then punish the rest of the team.
Definitely, yeah. And, an incredible stagger on Dewar, of course, obviously. But yeah, you just see like upon every fight, even though you got really close respawns here from the side of Strathclyde, it doesn't matter because ICL are already in position. You've got Power here waiting to take the dive as soon as Cheeseburger walks forward. You've got Wonton taking, I believe, is about to take up on the high ground here. And it's the point presence is incredible, and as our caster said, it's the name of the game for something like Flashpoint.
I think also, so we didn't really see much of the Vendetta ults until the end. I think they use that almost as like a fear factor, as they know SMCL has had issues with that Vendetta in the past. So it could have been, I feel like they used it almost as a thing to keep in their mind of they need to play careful because of that ult.
Yeah, and using so little in that last fight, it means that coming into this, it's still only the Blade against the Kitsune, the Thundering Blade, and the Bomb here. It means a really easy engage, and they just have to back up for Strathclyde. It means more point pressure, it means more point percentage for ICL, and it means Wonton then can easily just come in and just start slamming down damage. And at this point then, because they've wasted so much time, they've wasted so many cooldowns, so Dwar's Blade gets nothing.
Yeah. He's had, obviously, with the Blade that he had with the Lucio ult, that was really strong. I think trying just like that, maybe not the best idea, but I saw the vision. The vision was definitely there.
Yeah.
And if it worked, obviously that would have been a point flip for them. But
well, that's your win condition, right? If you're Strathclyde, you are playing for this Blade.
Yes.
But on the side of ICL, they're just not letting them get anywhere near it.
Yeah.
Dwar can't dive in and Blade. He's already there. He's already surrounded by 5 players, and it means the Blade just can't be pulled off. And then it just means an easy sweep. Like the Thundering Blade doesn't even need to come out, and it's just an easy point cap.
I think that's where the likes of the Lucio, the Diva, and the Vendetta come so important. Is that they know that the end is going to Blade soon, so being able to just get on him as soon as possible and just put that pressure on to maybe not use Blade or use it in the wrong situation is quite beneficial for them.
Yeah, definitely. I think that sort of encapsulates what we've been seeing from the side of ICL across both maps now.
Yeah.
They've been putting the pressure in. They've been making sure that whatever plans Strathclyde have, they don't get it off in time. And I think that'll be the name of the game moving into the next map.
Yes.
Definitely.
I think the pressure that's been put on SMCL has been really strong. They haven't really had many times to sort of regroup, fight as a team. They've always been that sort of Emre in the back, just constantly pressuring them.
Yeah, certainly. And who knows, perhaps moving into the next map, maybe we'll look at something, a bit of a slower map, something they can take their time, maybe like an escort or something, and it allows them to maybe get set up, figure out their fight plan, and actually be able to take the steps to get through it.
What do you think is the main thing that they need to change to start this sort of reverse comeback?
I think a lot of the reasons they've been getting picked off so early every fight, they've been finding that one guy that split off. So I think maybe just bunker down as a team, go together as a team, and make sure that people like the Emre can't get that off angle, like the Diva can't just dive in on your tank, and just make sure the Cheeseburger isn't the one that just gets beamed down straight away.
I think almost you could look at sort of potentials. You could even see like a Ramarch or a Reinhardt coming out, playing more of a bully together comp could be quite beneficial for them.
Yeah, I believe Cheeseburger is not so bad on the Ramarch, so that might be something we see coming through. Interesting to see maybe if we get the Mauga coming back out though from the side of ICL. But I mean, well, it's match point here, so let's see how they get on.
Still.
So I guess we'll cut back to our casters and see how this map might just finish out.
And we are back. Thank you very much for that analysis held by Morgan and Charlie. Really nice introduction and nice breakdown of how these fights have been going for ICL and just why SMCL are struggling to get seemingly anything done as far as points go.
I mean, I did really agree with that analysis there. I mean, I think SMCL are really just allowing their tank to be traded so easily and take so much damage just because they have more HP doesn't mean that they should be the primary focus for taking that damage. Walls do exist in the game that they can use to absorb a lot of that damage. And a couple of years ago, when I used to play for the BEF, it was very much I was constantly told off by my support player to stop standing in the open. So I think SMCL really need to heed the words of my old support player and maybe try and play some of these angles a little less aggressively, because Cheeseburger really is half HP before most of these fights start.
Yeah, it is not a good start. Hopefully their luck will change. They have SMCL have banned D.Va, and they're moving over to Dorado.
Yeah, I mean, interesting map. I mean, especially the D.Va ban. They probably going to be playing some of this Winston here coming out from Cheeseburger, or even they might get the sub in for Sigma Man. I really want to see Sigma Man, Jared. I mean, Sigma Man was the GOAT last game. He hasn't been played yet, and I'm very confused on why.
Yeah, so we do have the ICL ban coming through here. It's Widowmaker.
I mean, interesting pick in higher performance lobbies like this, but I mean, if Widowmaker is their challenge and they want it gone, all respect to them, get it gone. They seem to be holding up on every other hero. It doesn't seem like they really are taking a lot of threat from SMCL, otherwise they would be banning more heroes that they decide to play. They've banned the Soldier and the Widowmaker in the last two maps, which probably is quite important bans to them and based on what they want to play, but it doesn't seem like very targeted bans from the side of ICL onto SMC, which might just mean that they're feeling extremely confident in these games.
Yeah, equally, it could mean that they don't have a sniper player. If you don't have a sniper player and Widow is in on Dorado, you could be in for a very bad time.
Yeah, you'll be having a very rough time walking around corners, just getting absolutely one-tapped by some little rat in the middle of the sky at the very back of the map. But that won't be happening today. So what do you kind of see on Dorado? What are you looking for these teams, and what do you think kind of comps they're going to play? Because we all know Dive might be making an appearance.
Now, here's the thing. Usually, I would have said ICL are going to stick the same comp. But D.Va is banned, which means that this is going to go one of two directions to me. They're either going to go to the Winston comp, or they might do the Malga Sim again.
I mean, they could do TPing onto that high ground is an extremely effective strat, and especially just running it down with that Malga can take that high ground quite aggressively. But here we go, guys. We're going to drop straight in to the match on Dorado. We've got ICL attacking first and SMCL defending. We've got Hazard coming out from Cheeseburger. No Sigma Man.
No Sigma Man.
No Sigma Man's going to be playing in this series so far.
Yeah, but we do have the Hazard maybe in place of the D.Va? Who knows?
I mean, Power, yeah, they are going out onto this Malga, but no Symmetra. Maybe this Malga is going to run down all around coast around the left-hand side and take that high ground up. They need to do it quickly, then. They need to execute it, or they're going to stick Power on the car, which is a very interesting play, because it means SMCL are going to just be able to hold this high ground and really just make a hard deal for ICL to walk up.
Malga, Power charging straight over, and one-shotting two people. That is an insane Malga rollout to go off of the lift, charge onto the other high ground. Eloy finds another two, and that is going to be the most challenging point for this Malga to deal with over in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I take it all back. I thought he was going to go to the high ground, really take some strides here, but he just decided, no, I'm going to walk across thin air, run across the rooftop, and stun two.
Yeah, that was, and honestly, One Tom's link up there was absolutely incredible. And then Eloy able to follow it up with another two-piece. We have ICL pushing the cart here really far, already at 1 meter away from the point. Eloy is gonna find Dower, and SMCL are scrambling to deal with Power and kick them out of the back line. Eloy has found another And it's Cheeseburger fighting for his first kill, but ICL will cap with 5 minutes on the clock.
I mean, if I was SMCL, I would understand how we're losing very heavily here. I mean, that Mauga just taking that space on the high ground. If that happened to me, Jared, I would be just as discombobulated as SMC are feeling right now. They are confused. They're playing the Hazard, which should be more aggressive, especially on the map like Dorado. But, I mean, this Mauga is playing more of a dive than Cheeseburger at the moment.
Yeah, this SMCL team need to pull the trigger. They need to lock a target down. Like, there's this lone Vendetta standing on the cart, and he's not getting looked at. Power's going in. Cage Emrail is going to be met with Hazardol and Kitsune trying to find a kill. Geode using the beat. Oil using the beat now. This is a 5 ultimate fight already, as One Tom and Power are just pushing through, machine gunning everything down. And I don't think they've had a single death yet on the side of ICL.
Yeah, I mean, they are just fully dominating on this force. Like, SMCL just seem to be breaking up every time. I mean, even that Cheeseburger ult from Cheeseburger getting that Aloy's ult, like stopping the Emery ult, pulling him down, really saving his team, but this doesn't matter. They still manage to fall anyways. Envy takes a pick on Carl, and Dao takes a pick on Geode, and that is both supports from the side of ICL dead.
Yeah, they're back on the double hit scan, and Envy finds another. Cheeseburger finally finds the angle to engage, and there we go. SMCL showing signs of life. Back on the double hit scan.
Yeah, I mean, double hit scan is so powerful for this map, especially when the One Tom is on this Vendetta. It's going to be very difficult to get the sneak angles, especially on Dorado. Very open map here. I mean, maybe they can rotate. Looks like they're going right round coast here. Going to be able to speed at any point, take pressure onto the cart, but SMC are taking the high ground here, so they have no cart pressure whatsoever. Maybe Cheeseburger can hold the cart if they do manage to rush it.
Yeah, Aloy hit being met by Cheeseburger, trying to slow that aggression down. Envy is going to use the overclock as Carl uses the Kitsune on the cart. Envy, trying to find value, is going to end up chasing a Mauga into their own spawn, but they're going to get trapped. It was a bait, and the Mauga and the Vendetta have found two, and the cart is going to keep pushing forward as this fight gets cleared up.
Yeah, I mean, ICL were just waiting their time. SMC seem to be popping their ults early, thinking that it's the correct play, but these ults are coming out too early. That gives ICL time to kite, and kite they do, and then they answer back with not even a single ult and manage to get that point cap.
Yeah, ICL sitting pretty for this last map. Just under 4 minutes in the time bank, coming up on all 5 ultimates here. This could be rough for SMCL. Cheeseburger trying to take that high. Gonna get burned a bit by the Mauga. Kind of just a little bit of a poke war here as the fight gets closer and closer. Envy on the Tracer here as Power finds the engage onto Cheeseburger. The Kitsu comes out, but it is not enough to save his tank. Tartan Bros finding Geode, and they are trying to find angles from anywhere they can as Dower finds another. This could be a beautiful hold from SMCL. The double hit scan really doing its job. Bob coming through, trying to put an end to this ICL dominance as their team are back, and it looks like ICL are going to lose the fight and eventually off of the back of the Envy, Oil, and Dower.
Yeah, I mean, SMC really just need to cut this time bank as much as they can, and this fight win is going to knock off at least 40 seconds for them, which is going to be huge time bank progress. If they can do it again, that's more than a minute and a half off the time bank for ICL, which is going to be critical into making this map close. They really do need to stop ICL's attack here. SMC really do need to try, but that is a pulse on Suzu coming out.
And that downpour came in somewhere in there, and I don't think it hit anybody.
I think it might have been cleansed by the Suzu the second it went off.
That was unfortunate. Aloy and Power going to use that ult combo again, and Cheeseburger is going to fall. Oil is going to fall. Can Envy escape? Not today. And that is a full team wipe, except for Tartan Bros, who is left on this high ground by ICL.
Yeah, I mean, if ICL can push up to the spawn here, they do need to play aggressive, really stop Cheeseburger from getting out onto that Orisa. If they manage to buy time here and really stop him from coming out, this might be a free win.
Here is the beat engage from Oil. The counter beat from Geode is just a bit late to save Aloy. And the Kitsu from Carl is going to push ICL forward despite the lack of a hit scan. The Vendetta and the Mauga in the Kitsune is going to shred through this SMCL roster. And even the carry is getting involved again. One Tom gonna find a beautiful Vendetta onto Envy. And that's a minute 30 by the time ICL have capped.
I mean, that's just how way Overwatch maps worked. I mean, ICL just seems so dominant at that point throughout. They maybe lost 1 or 2 fights that entire map, and still only 1 minute 30 on the time bank. You would be thinking that ICL got robbed after that performance, but no, that is just the nature of how an Overwatch map can go, especially on these third points. SMCL really do in with a chance here. They just need a good first early cap, because this first point, if they get stuck on it, it can be a very difficult point to push.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see if they might change anything. I mean, ICL got almost the entire point percentage before the map was even, like, before the kill was even landed, sorry. Like, ICL are really strong. Mauga comp, a comp that shouldn't work on high ground, and yet they are absolutely dominating this team right now.
Yeah, I mean, especially with this Vendetta as well. Normally, you would think this Vendetta could be paired quite well with a Zarya, which is what we've been seeing in like, the last 3 weeks of our games. But no, it seems that the Vendetta Mauga is the comp the whole time, and it's just been right under our noses.
Yeah, and here we see Power 26-2, One Tom 23-2, sorry. They are the driving force of this roster, and I hope this continues into the second round.
I mean, honestly, I'm just surprised SMCL managed to... That whole team is managing to stay positive here, apart from Tartan Bros. You kind of don't really expect it from the Kiri player. I mean, like, managing to hold on this much after getting dominated this hard really shows that SMCL are actually putting up quite a big of a fight. They're just losing to silly mistakes.
Yeah, Cheeseburger on the Queen comp here, as Tartan Bros is gonna fall, and Dower's already dead. They've pushed it to the corner, but at what cost? They're gonna have to give up and back out already, as that is 3 dead, and already 40 seconds off the time bank. They didn't even take a fight.
I mean, SMC really need to start playing safe here. They need to like use their natural cover. They need to plan their attack and all coordinate it quickly, because the more time they spend in the open, the more time that ICL knows where SMC are, it's going to make it so much easier for them to set up for this defense.
Yeah, Envy here forcing the cart progress, more of a Gibraltar strategy in my experience, but it looks like it's going to be working as it's forcing ICL off of this high ground. And now SMCL with the high ground, the superior positioning. And Power looks for the engage. Not going to find too much value. Will find a lot of CDs. But never mind. Cheeseburger overstays their welcome as Carl finds 2 again. And Aloy and Power are going to clean it up. And this time bank is ticking down faster than SMCL would like.
Yeah, I mean, SMCL really do need to get this point cap now to be in chance with getting anywhere close to that time bank of ICL. The more time that drops down, it just makes it so much easier for ICL to maintain this lead onto SMC.
I do have to give a shout out to Cheeseburger though. He is usually their flex DPS player, I believe.
Yes.
And he is being forced onto tank because Sigma Man is not here. As the Pulse is going to not be used, sorry. As One Tom is going to find Dower, and Aloy will find another. Cheeseburger, though, staying alive in the backline of this ICL. Tartan Bros as well. He is deep into this fight. And the Carl is going to commit the Kitsune, and it's going to flip the fight in favor of ICL. And they are going to put a stop again to this push from SMCL before they can get any ult other than a Pulse Bomb off.
Yeah, I mean, ICL just seems so dominant in this comp. Like, we hate to see 3-0 victories. We like to see some kind of underdog story, but ICL really aren't giving SMC a chance. They won the final, and that power and that devotion that this team wants to get into this final is really taking a hold of them right now, and they're playing out of their minds and playing some great Overwatch.
The Mount Cage going to come out here. Dower is going to use the High Noon. Both beats are getting used, and it looks like it might be a fight win for SMCL. And they do close it out. It's expensive, though. It is costing them 3 ults.
Both support ults.
Thankfully, ICL also did the same, though.
Yeah, I mean, both supports coming out from both teams. It's going to be an even Stevens game. I mean, like, when you want to use ults, you kind of want to get as many ults as you can out from these teams here. And both teams using the support ults really does give it a fair fight, as Dower takes out 2 here and gets that point cap.
They get the point cap just in time. 3 minutes back on the clock for SMCL, and that is their saving grace right now.
Yeah, I mean, SMCL really are trying to hang back in it. They know this is their last chance. They're really tightening themselves up, looking at their form, making sure that they're playing a bit more coordinated, and they are really taking it to ICL, saying we're not out of this yet.
Power looking for this engage again. Not going to use the slam, but will force Cheeseburger and Dower out of position, and both will lose their life as a price to pay. One Tom getting nice and aggressive now with Power there. Carl is going to find oil, and it looks like only the Kiri will remain from SMCL. Well,
yeah, 2 minutes 20 on this time bank now. It's slowly going down. I mean, SMC are not having the easier time as ICL did on this attack, but they are making progress, though. They're not out of this fight yet. They are putting up some fight. They are staying in it.
Yeah, ICL here, really, really strong competition. And One Tom is showing them why. Eloy with the roll, and he's gonna find 1, finds 2. Can he find Tartan Bros for the 3-piece? He won't greed for it. He will find Envy, though, and that will be his 3-piece.
Yeah, I mean, that is the 3rd or 4th 3-piece from Eloy here. They really are taking names in this game, proving why they should be in this final, and it is honestly making for a great match that we're witnessing.
Yeah, ICL really looking like they're in the driver's seat here, but SMC are coming up on some ults, taking this high ground rush. Envy with 2 on the low ground, but nobody's dropping from ICL. They are rotating and regrouping, and Cheeseburger finds Carl, and here is the trigger. It is pulled into this church. And One Tom uses a Vendetta into a High Noon, but doesn't kill by about 5 damage, as ICL are slowly dying out in this church. But Cheeseburger, I believe, died in there. Never mind, they're still stuck in there. Envy's gonna find Geo. Power is gonna eventually fall, and that was a very sloppy fight.
It was very wasted as well. They played it inside the chapel, and I've been noticing that whole fight, no cart pressure. The Lucio wasn't on cart, the Tracer wasn't on cart. They wasted about 20 seconds worth of cart time there, which could be the make or break in getting this second point here. Clock ticking down to nearly 30 seconds. We are approaching last fight territory on the last map of this bottom tier finals.
Yeah, this might be the decider. Dower is gonna find One Tom. Tartan Bros using the Kitsune. Power is gonna drop as well, and this is a good form for SMCL. They are coming back very nicely in this. Envy looking for the kill onto Eloy. Unfortunately, Carl will be Eloy's savior today.
But SMC are not out of this yet. Getting that cap, they're still hitting this, they're still holding on. There is a fighting chance. They have less time than ICL on this cap, but you never know, this might come out. Ults coming out from both teams here. Cheeseburger falling very low into their backline. I mean, Power looking very low. No Suzu's coming out, no util from either team here. It's very much a dry fight. Who can we see? Dower getting the Suzu, keeping them alive here, but Envy cleaning up on Geode. Going on to Carl in the backline. Carl using the TP and Suzu here. Naked see Kiriko going to fall down very shortly, and that is going to be a fight win for SMC.
Yeah, switching over to the Doomfist here. In the middle, like just before that fight, I believe, Cheeseburger did use the Doomfist earlier, but it was more to touch cart. Now we're actually seeing the Doom played out.
Yeah, I think it's a bit too late to go back and swap now, Jared. I feel like they have to kind of commit with this Doomfist from Cheeseburger, which is going to be a very difficult time into their team. We can see what he did. Maybe he can get the stun onto this Malga and really nail him down. But here we go from the engage from Power.
Power with the engage. Dower's going to answer with the High Noon. Tartan is going to find Geode, and then Smalga is dancing around the cart. He's going to stomp on Cheeseburger, and SICL 2-2. All that's remaining is the Tracer and the Kiri and the Malga and the Kiri. The Kiris are going to 1v1, and Carl will be the victor. Envy, the only one here left to stall for SMCL. Pulse Bomb comes out, doesn't get a kill because of the Suzu. The Cage is going to come out. Can Cheeseburger touch? Yes, he can. The beat and the Vendetta ult come out. Eloy uses the Emre ult, and ICL want to close this map out.
And unfortunately for SMC, they put up the fight, but that will go to ICL, is going to be our winner of today's Week 5 lower bracket finals Division 1 match.
Yeah, ICL there with a quick 3-0, taking care of business.
I mean, ICL, as much as I love SMC and I want them to thrive and prosper, I mean, ICL put on a dominant performance that match. We're so excited to see what they can do in the finals, especially against, I believe, Oxford might be in that finals.
They are indeed.
I mean, Oxford did put up an amazing performance, but it was closer to SMC with that Oxford final. So maybe ICL have this advantage going into this final. They are the underdogs, and we all love, who doesn't love an underdog story, guys?
However, before we close out stream for the day, we have to crown our MVP of this series from ICL here. Who is it for you?
I mean, I've done the voting for the past couple of weeks, so I'll give you the honor this week. But honestly, I can't see giving anyone else that MVP other than Power.
Yeah, honestly, Mauga, a basic champ by concept, but some of the text that Power was using, like that jump across the high ground in Dorado, that is not something you see in an average Mauga game. You're looking at the highest of high ranks for that. And I think Power brings that expertise on such what is usually a simple character. But Power knows what to do. They know how to engage. And they know how to bring fights home.
I mean, getting that value on Mauga in a high 4K lobby such as this, high 4-5 even, we're pushing the territories of, and playing this Mauga and getting so much value out of it like he is doing, engaging every fight, getting the first pick every fight, living to the end of every fight. Power could not have done much more in that game. He was honestly the striving core of ICL and the beating heart of that team.
And that is unfortunately going to end our last stream before the LAN. It has been a pleasure casting for you guys and pleasure for casting for NSC. We have loved this opportunity. And once again, I have been your play-by-play caster, Imagine.
And I've been your color caster, Click.
And we'll be sending off to our host and analyst to close the stream off one final time for the split.
Wow, what three maps they were.
Yeah.
They were quite close. Every single one was fairly close, even if ICL took all three. I think, obviously, Power, MVP, no one else.
Well deserved. Incredible, Mauga. I would like to give a shout out to Carl, though.
Yes.
Bloodthirsty.
Yeah, it's good to see.
Incredible, yeah.
Dare we say Mauga meta?
Mauga meta for the finals?
Could be interesting.
Stay tuned, yep.
I'd be happy with that, to be fair.
Definitely, yeah. It's going to be an interesting one to watch as well. Congratulations to both teams for making it as far as they did. Congratulations to, of course, our winners moving through to the finals against Oxford Omnics.
Should we do a little prediction for the final?
Oh, that's an interesting one. Oh, I'm going to have to side with Oxford. Yeah.
I think I would say 3-1 to Oxford.
Yeah, well, either way, it's definitely not going to be a match to miss, so stay tuned for that in the coming weeks. But for now, I think it's time to wrap up this. As our cast has previously said, it's been an incredible opportunity to be able to put these streams on for you. Thank you very much to the team at NSC for this opportunity. But I guess that's it from us.
Thank you for NSC and enjoy your night.
Yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you all very shortly.